if you were to say to your students, treat Paradiso like a person, what would they say to you? I'm trying to imagine what Mark would say.
Yeah. Well, so this is part of the modern imagination. It's incapable of anything other than literalism. Okay. It's not.
Right. It's not a person.
It's a book. It's a poem.
Right.
It's a thing.
Right.
So you would have to. I was struck by the similarity between what Lindley was talking about and some of the stuff I've read in Lewis, and especially Lewis's work on criticism.
Yeah.
He references the Renaissance author Tasso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And Tasso's this guy that came along and said, really, any piece of writing and any, I don't know if, how he limited it, but a writer is two people.
Whoa.
He is an author, and he is a person. So when I come to a written work, I know I'm being toyed with. An author has in advance, to some extent, depending on the writer. I mean, there are those that don't know what's going to happen in their own book until they've written it.
Sure.
But often there's pre-planning. There's a notion of a plot. Mm-hmm. The writer knows he's chosen what voice to write in. He's chosen the events. He's chosen the frame of the lens.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can't discount that.
Right.
He is a writer.
That's his glory. I mean, that's his...
Screwing with you.
Right, yeah.
You know,
for sure.
Where is he taking me? Mm-hmm. But he is also a person. And this is... So when people would come at Lewis and go, you wrote Narnia to simplify the Christian message, he would vehemently argue against that. Uh-huh. I wrote stories as an author that contain me, Lewis the Christian, writing stories.
Okay.
I couldn't write other than as a Christian. That's who I am.
Right. But
I didn't set out to write a sermon disguised as stories.
Right.
I was an author writing stories. He says the Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe started with the notion of a fawn carrying packages. So Tumnus was born. Yeah. Tolkien said similar things.
I remember this.
That he jotted down there was a hobbit who lived in a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
And from that came all of Middle-earth, which is mind-boggling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just flowing with detail and backstory and so on and so forth. So, but that's often what a writer does, is he is at the same moment inventing, creating. Let's just talk about the Genesis terms that you brought in. He's a creator creating.
Right.
But he's not a creator creating outside himself. He's a creator creating from himself.
Yeah.
And so you get this triangle set up, and a reader, I think, best enjoys a work when he recognizes the triangle. Over here is the work.
Okay.
The story.
Okay.
Paradiso. Uh-huh. But I'm not looking at it alone. There's a creator, and I'm trying to enjoy both the what he created, certainly, but through that who he is as well.
Right.
And there are times when my students are determining, I don't like this guy. We read a story every year in seminar, Camus' The Stranger.
Sure.
And it's not enough. They inevitably get snarky about who Albert Camus was. Who would write a story like this? Uh-huh. They don't like the story. They don't think it's right to just kill somebody because you think it's right.
Yeah, right.
You've justified it.
On the beach.
You can't do that.
Right.
And they're bothered by all of the other stuff around the story. Mm-hmm. The guy beating his dog, and the fellow doesn't have any feelings when his mother dies, and it's all this stuff. So the story is affecting them, but it is leading them, if they're into it, it's leading them into our relationship with Camus himself.
Yeah.
So they really are forming two relationships simultaneously: a relationship with that story, the stranger, and hopefully with some of its characters.
Right. What sort of mind could have created this?
Right.
And we do this with music so
Exactly.
much. So much we do this, right?
Even to the point where sometimes the more I get to know the artist, it changes my feelings about his work.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
This personalization is not a left-handed way to talk about meaning making or